Calling of the 12 tribes. Tribes to the east. Yahawah. But Yamyan. Dan. Shama. Yasharallah. Yahawah. Allah Hayanawa. Yahawah. So, sir. Tribe to the south. Shemaiwan. Yashakar. Kapalawan. Shemai. Yasharallah. Yahawah. Allah Hayanawa. Yahawah. So, sorry. Tribe to the west. Gad. Ashar. Naphtali. Shammai. Yasharallah. Yahawah. Allah Hayanawa. Yahawah. So, tribes to the north. Roban. Yahawah. Loya. Shammai. Yasharallah. Yahawah. Allah Hayanawa. Yahawah. So, sir. Sabbath blessings. Repeat the Hebrew. Blessed be Yahawah in the name of Hamashiach Yahawashi that gives us the Sabbath in peace. Barak Yahawah. Bahasham. Hamashiach. Yahawashi. Hawa'ah. Natalanawa. Hashabaf. Bashalom. Blessed be Yahawah in the name of Hamashiach Yahawashi that gives us the law. Barak Yahawah. Bahasham. Hamashiach. Yahawashi. Natalanawa. Torah. Blessed be Yahawah in the name of Hamashiach Yahawashi that gives us the light to see. Barak Yahawah. Bahasham. Hamashiach. Yahawashi. Hawa'ah. Natalanawa. Ha'awar. Laka'ah. Blessed be Yahawah in the name of Hamashiach Yahawashi that gives us the ram horn to call the people. Barak Yahawah. Bahasham. Hamashiach. Yahawashi. Hawa'ah. Natalanawa. Ha'awar. Ha'ayah. Karan. Laka'ah. La'ain. Blessed be Yahawah in the name of Hamashiach Yahawashi that gives us the olive oil to anoint Israel. Barak Yahawah. Bahasham. Hamashiach. Yahawashi. Natalanawa. Hashaman. Zayat. La. Mashak. Yasharallah. Psalms 92 in English. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Most High, and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy love and kindness in the morning, and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings, and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For thou, Lord, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. O Lord, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man know it not, neither doth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Lord, art most high forevermore. For lo, thine enemies, O Yahawah, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Mine eye also shall see my desire on mine enemies, and my ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of Yahawah shall flourish in the courts of our power. They shall bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to show that the Most High is upright. He is my rock, and there's no unrighteousness in him. Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahawashi, the water, the Yad, Aman. The Ten Commandments and the Lashon Kadash. Repeat the Hebrew. La'ah, Yahaya, Laka, Alahaim, Akorio, Aponya, La'ah, Taisha, Laka, Pasa, Wala'ah, Taibadam, La'ah, Talakwakwa, Sham, Yahawah, Bashawa, Zakar, Hayawam, Hashabath, Lakadashwa, Kabad, Abaka, Wa'amaka, La'ah, Thratazak, La'ah, Tana'ah, La'ah, Taganab, La'ah, Ta'ina, Shakor, La'ah, Takamad, Ka, Asherah, Lara'aika, Mahasham, Hamashiach, Yahawashi, the water, the Yad, Aman. Yeah.
Ten Commandments in English. Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Most High, that power, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High, that power, and made jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate, and shewing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Most High, that power, in vain. For the Most High will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all that work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High, thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, and the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Most High thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Bahashem, Hamashiach Yahawashi, the water from Yad, Aman.
Aman. This is Psalms 121 in the Lashon Kadash. Repeat the Hebrew. Anasha, Ayim Ya, Al, Baharyam, Ba'ayan, Yabawa'a, Azarya, Yabawa'a, Yahawah, Shaisha, Shamayam, Waharataza, La'a, Yanathan, Lamawat, Regalia, Yala'a, Nayawam, Shashamarya, Hana, Yala'a, Nawam, Wala'a, Yashan, Shashamawa, Yasharala, Yahawah, Shamarya, Yahawah, Tazalia, Al, Yamya, Yad, Hashamash, Yala'a, Hakaya, Bayawam, Wala'a, Alabana, Balayala, Yahawah, Yashamarya, Makal, Rai, Yashamar, Napashya, Yahawah, Shamarya, Hawalakya, Yabawa'a, Maitha, Wa'ai, Aiwalam, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahawashi, the water, the Yad, Aman.
Psalms 121 in English. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Most High, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Most High is thy keeper. The Most High is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Most High shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Most High shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore. Ba'ashem Mashak Yahushua, water and yard. Man.
Man. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Lashon Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahawah, Malakwatka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Maharataza, Kawa, Bashamayim, Latalanawa, Lakom, Kalyawom, Wasalak Nawa, Kabawat Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kabawafia Nawa, Wala'ah, Tabaya Nawa, Banasai 1, Abo, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahatapa Arat, Lai Walamya, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahawashi, the water, the Yad, Aman.
Matthew chapter 6 and verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. For if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. By Shem Mashak Yahushua, the water of God.
Man. Psalms 133 in Lashon Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew. Shaya, Havelawa, Ladawad, Hana, Ma, Tawa, Wamak, Nayam, Shabbat, Akim, Gum, Yakad, Kashaman, Hatawa, Al, Araash, Yarad, Al, Azakwan, Zakwan, Aharan, Shayarad, Al, Paya, Watua, Katol, Karumwan, Shayarad, Al, Araya, Tazawan, Kaya, Sham, Tazwa, Yahawah, Ath, Abaraka, Kayam, Iwalam, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahawashi, the water, the Yad, Aman.
Psalms 133 in English. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments. As the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Most High commanded a blessing, even life, forevermore. Hashem, Mashak Yahushua, water of God.
Man. Psalms 150 to praise. Praise ye the Most High.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah in his sanctuary.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah in the firmament of his power.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah for his mighty acts.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah according to his excellent greatness.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah with the sound of the trumpet.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah with the psaltery and harp.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah with the timbrel and dance.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah with the string instruments and organs.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah upon the loud cymbals.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahawah upon the high sounding cymbals.
Hallelujah.
That everything that hath breath, praise Yahawah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Praise ye Yahawah, Bahasham Mashiach Yahawashi, the water of the Yad. Aman. Abanawa Yahawah, we come unto you on this Shabbat day. The water for bringing us through another week, for allowing us to be fed with the heritage of Jacob, our father. Thank you, Lord, for all the souls that are in this room. Continue, Yahawah, to watch over us, Lord, each and every day. Continue, Lord, to pour out your spirit upon us. Continue to wake us up to our heritage and our nationality, to your true laws, your good statutes and commandments, O Most High, that we may be made perfect in your sight, to become the nation that you created us to be, O Yahawah, the holy chosen people, above all other nations of this earth. Continue to call Yahweh back through your spirit, through your prophets, and through all other mechanisms, Lord, that you have set out through the four corners of the earth to redeem Jacob back unto you, O Most High. For that we give thanks and praise and glory be unto you. By Shem Mashak Yahushua, the Watam Yad, Aman. Shall we may be seated. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Peace, mercy, and grace be unto the true Hebrews, to the nation of Israel, God's chosen people. Once again, we here another Shabbat day to go over the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. And this is all due to the grace that the Most High God has showed to us, man, in these last days. To allow us to wake up to our nationality, even though the other nations have all of these devices to try to blot out the name of Israel from remembrance. Now everywhere you look on Facebook, on social media, you see the Paleo Hebrew coming back. You're seeing brothers, taking on the names of mighty men in the scriptures, changing their whole identity from that of a so-called African American or black man or a spick or a wetback or Hispanic or what they call the native people of this land, the native Indians, savages, and all these things. We coming back to our true heritage.
Right.
Because the Most High God said at the end of the day, where we aren't called the children of God, right? There we be called the sons of God, man. So we see that our people are waking up each and every day. I just want to remind our people that this is the best life that you can be living. This is the good life. If you want to live a financially stable life, that's fine. But that's not the good life in totality. Because we see a whole bunch of people, they're rich, but what do they have that type of happiness? All right, because what is money? Money is a carnal thing.
Right.
Let me get Romans 8 and 6. So, let's start with Colossians 3 and 17 first.
The book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17.
Read.
And whatsoever we do in word or deed, do all in the name of the idol one, yahawashi, giving thanks to Yahawah and Ahtha by him.
Right, so everything we do in word or deed, we need to do in the name of yahawashi, giving thanks, right? Giving thanks to the Most High. Because at the end of the day, that's who we should be thankful to. Regardless of what's going on in our lives, whether it's good or bad, we still need to give the Most High his thanks and his praise. Because he didn't have to choose us.
Right.
He chose us because he wanted to. It isn't anything that we did. Before Jacob was born, he chose him. Before Abraham was born, he chose him. Before Isaac was born, he chose him. And he fulfilled his promises with them. He walked with them through life. Give me that, Romans 8 and 6. Matter of fact, start at verse 5. Because we really need to understand what it is that we have. Because if we really went to our people who didn't know the truth, and we said, listen, in one hand, I got the law, statutes, and commandments. I can give you a full breakdown, full understanding, show you how to keep them, or I'll give you $1 million. Which one do you think our people going to choose? They're going to choose the $1 million because to them, their problem is not spiritual.
Right.
It's carnal. Let's read.
The book of Romans chapter 8 and verse 5.
Read.
For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh.
Right. So when you're just of the flesh, you're just worrying about these things here on earth. Your mind is always on earthly things. It's always on fleshly things that can make your flesh feel good. Read.
But they that are after the spirit.
They that after the what?
The spirit.
That they are that after the spirit, the law, statutes, and commandments, the effect that it has on you, the changes that it make. Read.
The things of the spirit.
They do what?
The things of the spirit.
That's what they do. They mind the things of the spirit. So that's why we have to be mindful to the things that the Most High God has given us, has charged us with, has allowed us to be received in our lifetime, man. Because this is the true good life that you be living. All your prayers have been answered when you started learning the law, statutes, and commandments. Because that's what you really wanted. You might have thought you needed a new house or a new car or a new job, but what you really needed was the instruction of the Most High God. So we need to be thankful for that. Just like I said, just like if somebody was to give you $1 million, man, you would call that person every day and thank them. Man, thank you. I really needed it. It really changed my life. I'm able to, put my kids through school. I'm able to do this. But with the law, statutes, and commandments, you're able to grow young men, right, into soldiers of the Most High God. Your father could have probably got a college, tuition fund being saved up for you. But guess what? If you go to college without the law, statutes, and commandments, you'll be knocking on the door probably a year later, talking about how you got kicked out. All right, probably got one of these crazy girls pregnant. Now you going through it on child support, and all his hard work went down the drain because he didn't raise you up with enough wisdom to understand how to carry yourself out in this wicked world.
Right.
If Torah was being kept everywhere, then there would be no worries.
Mhm.
But that's not the reality. We live in a sinful kingdom. So our best defense, even though money is a defense, our best defense is the knowledge of the law, statutes, and commandments, so that no man can't spoil you when you go out into the highways and byways. That's what on that. You can start your
All right. Just gonna do a little short class, and the title of it is "What Changed." So, and we're gonna start up with the book of Malachi, chapter 3, and verse 6. Everybody know this scripture?
The book of Malachi, chapter 3, and verse 6.
Uh-huh.
For I am the Most High.
It said, "But I am the Most High Yahawah." Read.
I change not.
It said, "I do what?"
I change not.
It says, "I change not." Because as you can see, over the years that we've been here on this earth, a lot of changes been made, through humans and society and policies and the rules of this world. But the words of the Most High is still the same. Okay, Yahawah is still the same because He hasn't changed. All right. Now let me go to Salat.
You can just call it. I'll grab it.
All right, I got you. You can go to let me start with Jeremiah.
All right, come.
28, verses 8 through 9. Okay. Just like how in the old days, how the prophets went out to the highways and the byways to try to compel our people. And what are we doing today, all throughout the four corners of the earth? We are those same spirits, the same people that's doing the same thing as the prophets did back in the days of old. All right, you can bring that up.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, and verse 8.
Uh-huh.
The prophets
Uh-huh.
that have been before me
Uh-huh.
and before thee of old
Uh-huh.
prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And the pestilence. Like I said before, I always like to come out in camp. I like to start off with the scripture because this is what we're literally doing to this day. Okay. This is how you see, this is proof of us on the earth teaching His word to our people, to compel them to come in. Okay, to follow the law, statute, commandments as a nation of people. So we can get out of this condition that we are as a nation of people. You understand? All right. Now let me get Ecclesiastes. Verse 1. Verse 1 and chapter 1 and verse 9.
The book of Ecclesiastes 1 and 9.
Uh-huh.
The thing that had been,
Uh-huh.
it is that which shall be.
Uh-huh.
And that which is done is that which shall be done.
Uh-huh.
And there is no new thing under the sun.
So there's no new thing under the sun. Just like the same spirits that was back there old, the same spirits reincarnated back then. Okay. So we just pretty much going through the same situation, but it's just in a different manner. You know what I'm saying? We just coming in new bodies. Okay. So we're gonna go into the book of, let's see here, Romans 15 and verse 4. Okay. So we get a clear understanding of why the scriptures was written. Okay. It was written, well, basically the scriptures are going to describe itself.
The book of Romans 15 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime
Uh-huh.
were written for our learning.
It was written for our learning. It's being specific. Okay. It's not saying written for everybody's learning. Okay. Because the law, statute, commandments were given to the children of Israel, nobody else. Okay. People that's in the truth, they know this. But people out in the world, they think the Bible is all inclusive. They're talking about themselves. Okay, which is not true. Okay, that's where we got all these ideologies, all these churches, Christianity, the Presbyterian, okay, Seventh-day Adventists. Okay, but they're not telling everybody that we are the people of the book. Okay, that's why you got a lot of these Christians and so-called Caucasians thinking the Bible is about them, when really it's about the children of Israel. Because all throughout the scripture you see Israel, children of Israel. Okay, the God of the Hebrews. Okay, it's not talking about everybody. That's why I say it's not an all-inclusive book. All right. Now let's go to Isaiah. Let's go ahead. Isaiah 46, verse 10.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 46 and verse 10.
Bring it up.
Declaring the end from the beginning.
It said, declaring the end from the beginning. Read.
And from ancient times, the things that are not yet done.
It said the things that are not yet done. So this is an ongoing book. This is a prophetic book. So the prophecies that's in the scriptures haven't come to pass yet. It hasn't come to fruition. Read on.
Saying, my counsel shall stand.
My what?
My counsel shall stand.
The Most High God said his counsel is going to stand. So whatever the words that's coming out is going to go forth. It's going to accomplish what it's supposed to accomplish. Read.
And I will do my pleasure.
He said, and I will do all my pleasure. Okay. Now, when we say declaring the end from the beginning, let's go to the beginning. So we're going to start with the book of Genesis, chapter 6. We're going to start up there. Book of Genesis, chapter 6. So we're going to start with verse 5 through 7.
The book of Genesis, chapter 6 and verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth.
It was great on the earth, read.
And that every imagination of the
it was evil continued. It was an ongoing thing, read.
And it repented the Most High that he had made man on the earth. And it grieved him.
And it grieved the Most High, read.
At his heart. And the Most High said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth.
And the Most High said he's going to destroy what he created on this earth. Read on.
Both man and beast.
He said both man and beast, read.
And the creeping thing. And the fowls of the earth. For it repented me that I have made them.
And he had repented that he had made them. Because he's starting to feel like it's regretful that he made man on earth. Okay? We started to go off as nation of people. And other nations started to go off. Was that on it?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Now let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras. All right. Oh, actually, no. Yeah. Oh, jump down to verse 11. It's a lot in Genesis. 11 through 13.
Okay. The book of Genesis, chapter 6 and verse 11. The earth also was corrupt before God.
And it was corrupt before the Most High Yahawah, read.
And the earth was filled with violence.
Filled with who?
Filled with violence.
Filled with violence. That could be twofold. Okay. That could be our people. That could be the other nations. All right. Now let's get to the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 2. Okay. So this earth is known for violence throughout the four corners of the earth, man. It's our people, the other nations. It's a so-called black on black crime. Okay. You got these other nations killing our people killing our own people. Okay. All right. The earth is full of violence, man. But through the mercies of Yahawah, we still here. We still existing on this earth. So anytime you could have wiped this out like the flood, man. Saving only 8 people, like Noah and his sons and their wives. All right.
You said Micah 2 and 2.
Yeah, Micah 2 and 2.
The book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 2. And they covered fields.
And they do what?
Covered fields.
And they cover fields. Now, who you know on this earth, or what nationality people known to cover fields? Okay, the so-called white man, the Caucasian. Okay, they go to these different nations, embargoes, putting their own rules. They cover fields. Okay, read.
And take them away by violence.
By who?
By violence.
By violence. Read.
And houses. And take them away.
Say, and take them away. Read.
So they oppress a man and his house.
And we are oppressed today, man. We are oppressed nation of people, man. Okay, we don't know who we are. We don't know our nationality. Okay. All right. Oh, keep reading.
Even a man and his heritage.
Even a man and his heritage. All right. Let me get that Ecclesiastes 17:11. So we were given a heritage as a nation of people. But a lot of our people don't want to get into that. Okay. But yet every Sunday morning they're in church. You know what I'm saying? Calling the Most High, calling the Lord, thank you, Jesus. Okay. But when we out in the highways and the byway, nobody want to come hear the word, man. The book is open. Okay. We giving out this word freely, man.
Ecclesiastes 1.
Oh, it's a lot.
7 and 7.
Sirach.
Oh, Sirach.
All right. Sirach 15, verses 1 through 2.
The book of Sirach, chapter 15 and verse 1. He that feareth the Most High will do good. And he that hath knowledge of the law shall obtain her.
Shall obtain the law, statute, commandments. All right. Now let me get a 2nd Esdras 15, verse 1 through 2.
Oh.
Yeah. 2nd Esdras.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15 and verse 1. Behold, Speak thou in the ears of my people
It says my people. It didn't say all people. It says my people is being specific. Read.
the words of prophecy,
Uh-huh.
which I will put in thy mouth.
Which I will put in thy mouth. And this is what we're going out to the houses and the byways for. All right. We're here to compel Jacob. Let them know their laws, statute, commandments that were given to us as nation people through Moses. Okay. And that we not to follow the customs of this world. Okay. The high holy days that we have to go by thus saith the Most High God. All right. Read on. Verse 2.
I will put in thy mouth, said the Most High,
Uh-huh.
and I cause them to be written in paper.
And it's been caused to be written on paper. That's why we have the Torah today. That's why we have the Bible. Okay. From Genesis to Revelations. All right. Okay. Now let me get let's see here. Oh, it's locked. All right, jump down to verse 10 through 12.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15 and verse 10.
Uh-huh.
Behold, my people is led as a flock to slaughter.
Uh-huh.
I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt,
Uh-huh.
but I will bring them with a mighty hand,
With a who?
a mighty
It
hand,
said with a mighty hand, read.
and a stretched out arm,
Uh-huh.
and smite Egypt with plagues.
And smite Egypt with plagues. Okay. And what's modern day Egypt today? America, aka Babylon the Great. Okay. The same customs that was going on back then in ancient times is the same thing that's going on right now. You understand? Because like I said, Isaiah 11:11, he said he's going to come and redeem us the second time with a mighty hand. Because we just got to throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay. Now, let's go to Exodus. All right. Chapter 1. Chapter 1, verses 8.
The book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Now there arose up a new king over Egypt,
So there's a new king that rose up in Egypt, read.
which knew not Joseph.
Uh-huh.
And he said unto his people,
What do you say?
Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Uh-huh.
Come, let us deal wisely with them,
So let us deal wisely with these people, read.
lest they multiply,
Let's do who?
lest
we grow in number, read.
and it come to pass
Uh-huh.
that when there falleth out any war, they join also to our enemies
Uh-huh.
and fight against us,
Right.
and so get them up out of the land.
Uh-huh. Keep going. You go to 16.
Okay, come on. Verse 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters
Uh-huh.
to afflict them with their burdens.
Right.
And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses.
And just like the same thing that's going on in America, we built this place, man. But do we get any recognition for it as a nation? Okay, we get overlooked. Just like how we come out with different inventions and the patents go to another nation of people. Okay. We create these inventions, but they take all the patents, so they get all the credit for it. Read on.
Verse 12.
Uh-huh.
But the more they afflicted them,
So the more they afflicted and the more pain that they added on to the Israelites, read.
the more they multiplied and grew.
And the more we outnumber the Egyptians, read.
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
And they were greedy. It was upset, like, man, these people growing in number, read.
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
With rigor, hard bondage, read.
And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage,
Uh-huh.
in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field.
Uh-huh.
All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor.
With rigor, read.
And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives,
Uh-huh.
which the name of one was Shipra,
Uh-huh.
and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew woman, and see them upon stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him.
Uh-huh.
But if he be a daughter, then she shall live.
Now what is that in comparison today? You got the Planned Parenthoods. And it's kind of a coincidence that it's set up in our neighborhoods. But if you go to these rich neighborhoods, you're not going to see Planned Parenthood there.
Right.
All right. Our people fall into that trap, man. All right. Read on.
Verse 17.
Uh-huh.
But the midwives feared God and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive.
And they say the men children alive. All right. And let me get Exodus, chapter 11. All right. Like I said, the title of this short class is like, what changed? Okay. What was different back then than it is now? All right. The book of Exodus, chapter 11, and verses 4 through 6.
The book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 4. And Moses said, thus saith the Most High, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die.
Now, see how the tables turned? Okay. Pharaoh had our children, the firstborn and the males, they wanted them killed. But the Hebrew women, they wasn't with it because they feared the Most High. But that's how the tables flipped, and the tables turned on his children and his firstborn. Read.
And all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die.
Shall what?
Shall die.
Shall die, read.
From the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne.
So even when they sit upon the throne, read.
And, Slakia, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill.
Behind the mill, read.
And all the firstborn of beasts.
Even your animals was first killed. Okay. All right. Now let me get 2 Thessalonians, chapter 1, and verse 68.
The book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 1 and verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with a righteous thing.
I mean, it's the right thing according to the Most High God. Read.
With God,
with the Most High Yahawah. Read.
To recompense tribulation.
To recompense tribulation, to pay back. Read.
To them that trouble you.
To them that trouble us. We've been troubled ever since the womb, man. We've been fighting with our own significant other, so to speak, with Esau. And ever since then, he had a perpetual hatred toward the children of Israel.
Right.
Nothing has changed, man. Okay. You see us mostly incarcerated. Okay. We don't want that getting racially discriminated against. Screaming no justice, no peace. We getting shot down by the cops. Okay. All right. That's a lot. All right. Now let me get let's see here. Okay, let me get Amos, chapter 9, verses 8 through 10.
The book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Most High power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob.
And he will not destroy the house of Jacob. Okay. So let me see here. Okay. Isaiah 10. All right, let me go back. So there's something in Exodus that I missed. Exodus 32, verses 9 through 10.
The book of Exodus, chapter 32 and verse 9. And the Most High said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people.
He says it's a stiff-necked people. We are hard-headed people as a nation. Read.
Now, therefore, let me alone that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation.
He said he will make of thee a great nation. All right. Now let's go. Let's see here. Let's go to 1 Peter. Actually, yeah. Let's go to 1 Peter, chapter 4. So nothing has really changed. It's just the names of who we are today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Most High gave us the name of Israel, Yahawah, Prince of Power. Now we're calling ourselves Black, Hispanic, Native American, West Indian, Jamaican. That's not who we are as a nation of people. All right. Good.
What do you want? First Peter 4.
Yeah, 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 17 through 18.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahawah.
It said the time to come that judgment must begin at the house of the Yahawah. All right, read.
And if it first begin at us,
and if it first begin with us, the nation of Israel, read.
What shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God?
And what's going to be the end of them that do not obey the words of Yahawah, man?
And if the righteous scarcely be saved,
it said be scarcely by the skin of your teeth, read.
Where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?
It said, where should the ungodly and the sinner appear? So the Most High is only going to deal with us as nation people because the law, statute, commandments only given to us. All right. And we're going to go off on that for Amos 3, verses 1 through 2. All right. We use the scripture a lot. We go to Amos chapter 3, verses 1 through 2.
Amos chapter 3 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Hear this word that the Most High spoken against you, O children of Israel.
No, children of Ammon.
Children of Israel.
Children of Hittite.
Children of Israel.
So the children of Israel, read.
Against the whole family,
Against the whole family, read.
which I brought up from the land of Egypt.
And we're the only people that's been brought up from the land of Egypt. We've been brought out of that bondage, okay, by Moses. All right, we've been let out, all right, into the wilderness, split the Red Sea. All right, read.
Saying,
What?
you
He
only
says, you only, read.
have I known
Uh-huh.
of all the families of the earth.
Of all the families of the earth. Okay, there's 18 nations on the earth. Okay, the Most High God is only dealing with the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, man. All right. Read on.
Therefore, I will punish you.
I will punish who?
Punish
He
you
said, I'll punish you, read.
for all your
He
iniquities.
said, for all your iniquities, because he's only dealing with us. All right. Thus said the Most High God. All right. Okay. All right. And let me get Psalms 147, verse 19 and 20. Because he's only dealing with us because the law, statute, commandments was given to the nation of Israel, nation of Israel only. You understand? But a lot of there's plenty of Bibles trying to focus on the earth, but when people actually read it, it's only dealing with a specific nation. Okay. The thing is, our people though, they got to identify themselves who they are according to the scriptures, especially these other nations, man. Okay. You can't say yourself an Israelite if you're not doing the thing of an Israelite. It don't make no sense. You understand?
The book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19.
Uh-huh.
He showeth his word unto Jacob.
He showed up his word unto Jacob. Okay. Yahawah, Prince of Power, which his name will change to Israel. Read.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Unto Israel. Read.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
No, he gave the word to everybody.
He hath not dealt so with any
He
nation.
said he have not dealt so with any nation. Read.
And as for his judgments, they have not known
And
them.
they have not known them. All right. Thus say the Most High God. All right. Let me get the book of Psalms, chapter 50, and verses 16.
The book of Psalms, chapter 50 and verse 16. But unto the wicked,
He said, but unto these people, okay, that's walking around with our Torah, thinking that the book is theirs, read.
Yahawah saith,
What do you say?
what hast thou to do to declare my
He
statutes?
said, what are you doing with the book and what are you doing with the law, statute, commandments in your hand? Okay. Why are you out there in the highways and byways teaching the word when it wasn't given to you in the first place? All right, read on.
Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth.
He said, what are you doing with the law, statute, commandments in my mouth? The covenant was given to the children of Israel. Okay. So we know when we go out to the highways and byways, we see these missionaries, okay, passing out pamphlets, holding up signs, but they don't got no scripture in their hand. Okay, well, they got a microphone, they're yelling and screaming. They got the woman teaching, which is against Torah, okay, which is against the Bible. All right. The men's supposed to lead the congregation. Thus says the Most High God. All right. But everybody that's teaching His word, they're doing the complete opposite, man. All right. That's not what thus said the Most High God. All right. Let me get Proverbs 1 and verse 7.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 7. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge,
The beginning of knowledge.
but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
It says fools despise wisdom and instruction. Some are about pastors, some of our people. They despise wisdom and instruction. They don't want the law, statute, commandments to guide their life. Okay. They want to do whatever America says to do. Okay. Just run around, be free. Okay. Do as thou wilt. Okay. But we have rules, we have laws, we have statutes to abide by as a nation of people. Right? All right. And let's get the flip side. Let me get 7 and 1.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 1. My son, keep my words.
It says, keep my words, read.
And lay up my commandments with thee.
He said, lay up my commandments with thee. Okay. Is that on there?
Con.
Yeah. All right. Let me see here. Check something out here. All right. Here.
So like the powerful captain is bringing out, nothing has really changed, because the Most High God charged. He didn't keep us in 40 years in the wilderness for no reason.
Right.
We were there to be proved. We were there to learn His ways. Right. Of course, our forefathers knew the law, statutes, and commandments, but there was no Passover to keep. Right. Before the Most High led us out of Egypt.
Right.
So when we were in the wilderness, we got more commandments. We got more statutes than maybe our forefathers had,
Right.
because there were incidents that took place once we got out of Egypt, that the Most High was able to give us that heritage. All right. Isaac didn't keep Feast of Tabernacles. All right. Jacob didn't keep Feast of Tabernacles because those weren't commandments that were given yet.
Right.
But we have all the commandments that the Most High has given us. Christ has came. We have everything that He said is thus saith the Most High. But Yahawah was able to give us a better understanding. He was to be able to be that living example, not being made in taking on a celestial body, but a terrestrial body, subjugated to the same temptation and sin as we. But what did He do? He came down here and He was perfect, man.
Right.
That shows you that it's possible. But there were attributes about Yahawah that we really got to consider. One was that he was an austere man. He was very serious. How serious are we really about this word? Do we just read the words on the paper, or do we try to extract it? Do we really try to become what the scriptures say to become? Do we make it our business to do what the scriptures do? Now I understand, yes, circumstances may come up, things may happen, but like the scriptures say, a righteous man falleth 7 times and riseth again. Now, it's a difference between falling and tripping yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Don't always try to trip yourself and say, oh, we all fall, brother. Yeah, I get that. But let it be a stumbling block that you probably didn't see, right? Let it be something that actually tripped you up instead of you always tripping yourself up.
Right.
Because the Most High God, He's not dealing with folly, man. We got to take that mindset out of our hearts that we used to have in the world, where I'm about to do something wicked and we ask God to forgive us before we do the wicked thing. That's not how it's supposed to go. It's something that, let's say, for instance, somebody's starving on the Shabbat, right? I'm talking about downright starving, about to pass out. Are we supposed to buy and sell on the Shabbat? La, right? But it's lawful to do good on the Sabbath. So I go and I get this brother something to eat. Yes, I had to pay money for it. Guess what? I'm going to still ask the Most High to forgive me. Because even though that brother was hungry, even though it was something good that I did, I'm going to still ask the Most High to forgive me, because we shouldn't be buying and selling.
Right.
We should never put it in our minds that, oh, I have an excuse. The Most High understands what just happened. No, He don't. All right. He understands what He told you to do, and He understands that you didn't do it. So you still always have to ask Him for that forgiveness. And that's the real stressors of living in a kingdom that's not yours. Because what if they said, you know what, from now on, every man have to wear a dress. Right? And if you don't wear a dress, you either gonna go to jail or get killed. I know I'm just gonna have to die. Right? I'm just gonna have to die. But majority of our people gonna be they're gonna throw on that dress. Because in their kingdom, they can make the rules. And they rule the whole earth, right? They rule the whole earth. So it's nowhere you can run to. You can try to run out into the woods. Esau's already there, right? He's just covered in their piss, so you can't smell him. But he's there waiting, right? And then next thing you know, you build up your cabin, and then you receive an electric bill. And you say, how did this man still find me? How did this man still find me? There's nowhere you can run, right? There's nowhere you can run, man.
Oh my goodness.
But the Most High God said if we were to keep His law, statutes, and commandments, when you read Baruch 3 and 13, that we would have dwelt in peace forever.
Yeah.
And we got to envision getting back to that state, man. Because living in this captivity is not it.
Right.
Right.
I wanted to let me back on that covenant. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it wasn't given to these other nations.
Right.
But who was it given to? Let me get into Genesis chapter 9, verse 9. And we're going to read down to 17.
The book of Genesis, chapter 9 and verse 9. And I, behold, I established my covenant with you and with your seed after you.
It says after you. That means generation of generation. Read.
And with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you. from all that go out of the ark
Uh-huh.
to every beast on the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood.
Uh-huh.
Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth.
Uh-huh.
And God said, this is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you, and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations.
That means ongoing, read.
And I do set my bow in the
I
cloud.
do say my who?
My bow in the cloud.
The Most High said his bow in the cloud. Now what is that bow? The rainbow. But what does society use the rainbow for today? The LGBT community. Okay, they're pushing the wickedness, man. All right. They took the Most High's rainbow and turned it into something wicked. Read.
And it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth.
Uh-huh.
And it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud.
Uh-huh.
And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh.
Uh-huh.
And the waters shall no more become a flood and destroy all flesh.
Uh-huh.
And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I remember, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth.
Uh-huh.
And God said unto Noah,
Uh-huh.
this is the token of the covenant
Read.
which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth.
And that's the agreement. That's the covenant, man. That was made between Noah and the Most High God. Okay, that he wouldn't flood the earth again. All right. Now let's get into, let's see here, the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 38 and 39.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 38. For as in the days were before the flood,
Uh-huh.
they were eating
There are
and
what?
eating
Read.
and drinking,
Uh-huh.
marrying and
Uh-huh.
giving in marriage.
Now, isn't that happening today? And that's why I put the title of the class, What Changed? The same thing that was going on back then before the flood, people eating, drinking, marrying, giving into marriage. It's the same thing that's happening today. The same things that's happening today. Read.
And until the day that Noah entered into the ark,
Until the day Noah entered that ark. Read.
and knew not until the flood came
Uh-huh.
and took them all away.
Took them all away. Uh-huh.
So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
So he said, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Uh-huh.
Then shall two be in the field.
Uh-huh.
One shall be taken and the other left.
It shall be left. So it's the same situation today, man. That's why I said, what changed, man? There's nothing different. There's nothing new under the sun, man. Okay? All right? We just been reincarnated back to who we originally were. Okay? The same spirits that's here today. All right? Now let me get what's that? Speak a little louder. All right, Con. All right, let me go ahead. 40 through 44. Oh, okay. I got you. Now let me get to Hebrews chapter 11. The book of Hebrews, chapter 11, and verse 7.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 11 and verse 7. By faith, Noah, being warned of the Alahaim of things not seen as yet, moved with fear.
So he moved with fear because he had fear of the Most High God. Okay, he was a perfect man. Read.
Prepared an ark.
He did what?
An ark.
He prepared an ark. Read.
To the saving of his house.
To the saving of his house. Right.
By which he condemned the world and became heirs of righteousness, which is by faith.
Which is by faith, because he had faith. Okay, he had faith in the Most High. All right, to hearken unto his word to build that ark. Okay, the Most High knew what was coming. He knew the flood what was coming. He knew Noah and his family and their wives was righteous. That's why he only saved 8 people, man. Okay, so what different is it going to be today for our people? You understand? All right. Now let me get a Salah. Let me get a Barak. So, verses chapter 1, verses 17.
The book of Baruch, chapter 1 and verse 17. For we have sinned before the Most High.
We have did what?
We have sinned before the Most High and disobeyed him.
And we did what?
And disobeyed him.
We have disobeyed the Most High. Read.
And have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord our God to walk in the commandments that he gave us openly.
And he gave us the commandments openly. Read.
Since the day that the Most High brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt unto this present day, we have been disobedient.
We have been what?
Disobedient.
We have been disobedient as a nation of people, man. Okay, this back then our forefathers and foremothers said we will do. But what happened? I mean, just look around, man. Look around society. Look at us as a nation of people, man. You know, we just came from, you know, teaching the word, and our people are still the same, man. They get all this knowledge from everybody else, but where's the change in the community, man? Okay, you still got the corner store, you still got the drug dealers, you still got the prostitutes, okay, you still got the hustlers, the gangsters in the streets. What changed as a nation of people, man? Read on.
We have been disobedient unto the Most High, our power, and we have been negligent in not hearing His word, His voice.
And not hearing His voice, read.
Wherefore the evils cleaved unto us.
He said, wherefore the evils cleaved unto us. It grabbed hold of us, read.
And the curse.
And the who?
And the curse.
And the curses. Just how we read in Deuteronomy 28:15, all the way to 68. Those are the curses that was brought upon us as a nation of people because of our disobedience. Read.
Wherefore, Salakia.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore the evils cleaved unto us, and the curse, which the Most High appointed by Moses his servant at the time he brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt, to give us a land that floweth with milk and honey, like as it to see this day.
And He gave us a land. Let me get Deuteronomy 11, verse 11. All right. He gave us a land. Yeah, we here in America, but this don't belong to us, man. We dwell here as a nation of people, as citizens, but that's not who we are. Okay, we have a homeland to go back to, and this is not it. All right.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11 and verse 11. But the land, but the land, read. Whither ye go to possess it,
where do you go to possess it? To take hold of it, read.
Is a land full of hills and valleys.
Hills and valleys, read.
And drinketh water of the rain of heaven.
Now, doesn't that sound like something you want to get into? That sounds like paradise to me.
Right.
That doesn't sound nothing like America, man.
Con.
I'm sure America has certain spots that, you know, that looks well, different parts, different regions of the earth, but in totality, this is not our dwelling place. Okay, this is not our rest. Read on.
Verse 10. Verse 12. A land which the Most High thy power careth for.
It's a land which the Most High God careth for. And what's that land? The land of Israel. Read.
The eyes of the Lord thy power are always upon it.
It's always upon that land, man. Watching and looking. Okay, you know what's going on in that land. Okay, with the gay parades, the heathens taking over the land. You know about our exodus. Okay, you know about us scattered out the four corners of the earth, now living in the land. Read.
From the beginning of the year, even unto the end of the year.
He said, even from the beginning of the year, even unto the end of the year. All right. So, you finished Baruch, right?
Yeah, come.
17. Okay. All right. Okay.
We get into the portion after this.
All right. Baruch chapter 1, verse 17. Okay. Yeah, read on all the way down to 22. We'll end it up right there.
The book of Baruch, chapter 1 and verse 17. For we have sinned before the Most High and disobeyed him, and have not hearkened unto the voice of the Most High, our power, to walk in the commandments that he gave us openly. Since the day that the Most High brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt unto this present day. We have been disobedient unto the Most High, our power, and we have been negligent in not hearing his voice. Wherefore the evils cleaved unto us, and the curse, which the Most High appointed by Moses his servant at the time that he brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt, to give us a land that floweth with milk and honey, like as it is to see this day. Nevertheless, we have not hearkened unto the voice of the Most High our God, acknowledging unto all the words of the prophets whom he sent unto us.
And just like today, we've been sent out to the highways and byways to compel our people, to teach our people who they are. Right? Read on.
But every man followed the imagination of his own wicked heart.
And that's the problem. That's the issue that we have today. Okay, man follows the imagination of their own heart. They want to do their own thing instead of thus said the Most High God. Read.
And to do evil in the sight of Yahawah.
to serve strange gods, and to do evil in the sight of the Most High your power. All right. All right. So that was just a short class, you know what I'm saying? It's the title of it, like, what changed? Because as you can see, the same thing that's been going on back then is the same thing that's happening right now. All right, in this present day. All right.
All right, Khan. So we're about to get into the portion now.
Khan.
Portion is going to be Genesis 44 and 18 to 47 and 27. All right. So go ahead, Cap. Get that.
44, 18.
Yeah, 44 and 18.
All right. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 44,
Uh-huh.
and verse 18.
Uh-huh.
Then Judah came near unto him
All right.
and said, O my Lord,
Mm-hmm.
let thy servant, I pray thee,
Mhm.
speak a word in my Lord's ears, and let not thine anger burn against thy servant,
Uh-huh.
for thou art even as Pharaoh.
So now, this is his brothers. So Joseph, 11 brothers came to Egypt because there was a famine around where they were living.
Right.
So they had to go to Egypt, which at this time is the world power. So they have the most abundant of everything: food, gold, silver, cattle, whatever you needed. Egypt had it, right? They was the plugs, so to speak, right?
Right.
So in the time of this famine, Jacob's sons, his other 11 sons, because Joseph is of course over in Egypt, they had to go over to Egypt to ask for provisions. Keep reading.
Verse 19.
Uh-huh.
My Lord, ask his servant, saying, have ye a father or a brother?
Uh-huh.
And we said unto my Lord,
Right.
we have a father, an old man,
Uh-huh.
and a child of his old age,
Read.
a little one,
Uh-huh.
and his brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother,
Uh-huh.
and his father loveth him.
His father what?
Loveth him.
Right. So who was Joseph's mother? Huh? What you say? Who was Joseph's mother? Rachel. Correct. And so so who? What was the other son that Rachel had? Benjamin. Right. So Benjamin and Joseph share the same mom. Let's read that. Read that verse again. Verse 20.
Verse 20.
Uh-huh.
And we said unto my Lord,
Uh-huh.
we have a father,
Okay.
an old man,
Uh-huh.
and a child of his old age,
Uh-huh.
a little one,
Uh-huh.
and his brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother, and his father loveth him.
Right. So they're speaking of Benjamin. They're saying that his brother is dead.
Yeah.
Right. So he's the only one left of his mom.
Right.
Right. So they're basically they're basically telling Joseph that, listen, man, of Rachel, this is the only son that she have left. This is the only son that Jacob has left of Rachel. Read.
And thou saidest unto thy servants,
Uh-huh.
bring him down unto me,
Uh-huh.
that I may set mine eyes upon him.
Because remember, Joseph told him, listen, go and get that brother and bring him back. Read.
And we said unto my Lord,
Uh-huh.
the lad cannot leave his father.
Uh-huh.
For if he should leave his father,
Uh-huh.
his father would die.
Right? Because Joseph and Benjamin was Jacob's children of his old age.
Right.
Read.
And thou saidest unto thy servants,
Uh-huh.
except your youngest brother come down with you,
Uh-huh.
ye shall see my face no more.
Read.
And it came to pass,
Uh-huh.
when he came up unto thy servant my father, we told him the words of my Lord.
Read.
And our father said, go again, and buy us a little food.
Uh-huh.
And we said, we cannot go down. If our younger brother be with us, then we will go down. For we may not see the man's face, except our youngest brother be with us.
Mm-hmm.
And thy servant my father said unto us, ye know that my wife bare me 2 sons.
Right.
And the one went out from me, and I said, surely he is torn in pieces.
Uh-huh.
And I saw him not since.
Right. So he's speaking in reference to when, the other brothers Joseph's brothers brought back his coat
Right.
in blood and said that a beast tore him to pieces.
Yeah.
Jacob believed that story,
Uh-huh.
especially at this time because years had passed. Joseph haven't shown back up.
Right.
Right. So he's more convicted in his spirit that, man, surely my son was torn by beasts.
Right.
Read.
29. And if he take this also from me,
Uh-huh.
and mischief before him,
Mm-hmm.
ye shall bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave.
So Jacob is saying, listen, man, if I lose Benjamin,
Right.
I'm gonna be so sorrowful. I'm gonna just go down to the grave. All right. It's like, what is life at this point? He's speaking, not literally, right? Because Jacob is not gonna go and commit suicide, but
Right.
it's gonna bring him very much sorrow.
Right.
And you got to think about it. I remember I was watching this. I think it was First 48 one time, and it was this woman that I think it was something in Memphis, Tennessee, and it was a shooting that happened. And you know, sometimes they interview or they catch the community people on camera, and the lady was screaming saying that we need to stop this. She said she lost all 4 of her sons to gun violence.
That's crazy.
Imagine this woman birthing 4 men and losing them before they turn the age of 25. Because sometimes things happen to us in life, we like, what's the chances of that happening again? And then it happened a second time, like, surely it can't happen a third time.
Yeah.
And then it happened a third time, like, all right, that had to be it. And then it happens a 4th time. What if this woman would have bared a 5th child and would have had to suffer that same fate? Because a lot of people think that the other nations, they kill us because they're racist. They don't kill us because they're racist. They kill us because they're murderers. That's what it's about. That individual is a murderer. Because then what would be the case when we kill our own people? You can't call it racism then.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all are the same race.
Yeah.
It's that Esau, that person there, he's a murderer. Right? The Chinese man going around killing somebody, he's a murderer.
Right.
The Ephraimite brothers who shot up the other Ephraimite brothers on that video, they're murderers. Being a racist means that you're for your people. It's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
That does not cause you to murder somebody in cold blood or unjustly, man. Right? But just think about a parent having to lose their children, man. Parents live their whole lives, work hard day and night just to provide for their children. Just to go and lose them?
Oh, that's crazy. That reminds me of this story. There was a woman in Chicago. Her son died at a street corner, and at that same street corner, she was mourning for her son, like a little vigil, and she died in the same spot, by gun violence, at the same exact spot.
Look at that,
That's
man.
crazy, man.
Look at that. So Jacob is speaking like, man, listen, man, it's not an easy thing to lose your child.
Yeah.
But we to us, it's like we don't even consider that, man. Listen, if I go and gun down his brother, somebody gonna be mourning. Somebody father and mother is going to be mourning, man.
Right.
All right, let's get back to the portion.
The book of Genesis, chapter 44 and verse 30.
Right.
Now, therefore, when I come to thy servant, my father, and the lad be not with us,
Right.
seeing that his life is bound up in the lad's life,
Right.
it shall come to pass, when he seeth that the lad is not with us, that he will die. And thy servant shall bring down the gray hairs of thy servant, our father, with sorrow to the grave. For thy servant became surety for the lad unto my father, saying,
Right.
if I bring him not unto thee, then I shall bear the blame to my father
Right.
forever.
So Judah told Jacob, listen, if Benjamin don't come back, that's on me. All right, that's on me. So he's putting himself in a very risky position because he don't know that this is Joseph at this time. He don't know what this person is gonna do. If he's gonna keep Benjamin, kill Benjamin, he doesn't know what it is that he's gonna do. But he knows that the only way that they can go and get those provisions is if Benjamin come back with him. So he had to do what he had to do. He had to find some way to convince his father.
Right.
Read.
Verse 33. Now therefore I pray thee, let thy servant abide instead of the lad a bondman to my Lord, and let the lad go up with his brother.
So he said, listen, instead of letting Benjamin stay back, I will be a bondman unto you. Just let Benjamin go back home.
Right.
Now, Joseph is hearing this, right? And Joseph probably is thinking like, this man must have really changed. Because who came up with the plan to sell Joseph into slavery? Which brother? Which brother came up with the plan? Give me Genesis 37:27. Which brother came up with the plan? Yeah, you say you be guessing? Judah? Y'all gonna stop doing Judah like that, man. Right? But you're right, though. Judah was the brother who came up with the plan. Let's read that.
Sorry, 26.
Yeah, come.
Genesis chapter 37 and verse 26.
Read.
And Judah said unto his brother, what profit is it if we slay our brother,
right,
and conceal his blood?
Read.
Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him,
right?
for he is our brother and our flesh,
Uh-huh.
and his brethren were content.
Right? So Judah was the one who came up with the plan to say, you know what? Let's sell Joseph into slavery. But now Judah is putting himself on the line to be a bondman
Right.
to who he doesn't know is Joseph at this time for his brother. So look at that love that he should have been showing Joseph. Right now, I don't know. Obviously, Benjamin didn't have dreams telling him that he was going to make obstinance to them, and but nonetheless, we do see that there was a favor shown unto Benjamin, right? So it doesn't seem like they have that envy and that hatred to Benjamin just because Jacob giving him that favor. So the brothers seem like they realized, man, they probably that probably ate them up for years and years. What they did to their brother, and now being in this same situation. We gotta look at Judah as a changed man because he isn't going about the same thing. He said, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and keep Benjamin, right? That's what he could have said, being that he was the one who came up with the idea to sell Joseph into slavery, but he's now putting himself on the line, and that's the greatest love that you can show. Let me get John 15 and 13. All right, bring that up.
All right, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, and verse 12. And of Benjamin he said, the beloved of the Most High shall dwell in safety by him. And the Most High shall cover him all the day long,
right?
And he shall dwell between his shoulders.
Correct, man. So the Most High, Benjamin is the beloved of the Most High. He's the beloved of his father also.
Right.
And Benjamin to this day, man, if we would love each other, the West Indies, man, would be a beautiful place.
Got it.
Right? If we would love each other, because it isn't so much the other nations doing us wrong in those parts of the earth. It's really ourselves, man. But that's what poverty breeds. Poverty breeds crime.
Right.
Our American poverty isn't even on the same level as West Indies poverty in Haiti, in Jamaica, right? Grenada. Those you go there, man. You see some real stuff, right? Even over in South America.
Yeah.
All right. The poverty in America sometimes is a luxury over there, man. Right? It's ways of life that we don't even know how to know about living over here in the States, man. But where our people is at, con?
Romans 13 and 10.
Yeah, Romans 13 and 10.
Right. The book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 10. Love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law.
Right. That's how we fulfill the law. Because what is love? The keeping of the commandments. And if you love your neighbor, you're not going to work no ill towards them.
Right.
You're going to always be in their best interest. Do what's in their best interest. Imagine if you never had to worry about going hungry or going broke. Because if anybody ever even caught a wind that you didn't have some financial stability, next thing you know, you check your cash app and it's 50,000 in there. Right? Think about that. As soon as you even start to worry, man, everybody bringing you pots and pots of food. You could have 50 children. It don't matter. Right? That's real love.
Right.
And that's why it's hard for us to even fathom what the kingdom of heaven is going to be like. Because we have not seen that love amongst brethren. And I'm talking about just a whole community. Yeah, some congregations might even have thousands of people. But imagine millions upon millions, man. And everybody's on the same accord.
Right.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be nice, man. That's why we can't even fathom that. Because it's something that's possible on earth, but it has yet to be done. There's always been some type of division amongst the children of Israel, man.
Right.
Because we refuse to sincerely love our neighbor. Let me get that John 15:13. That's the fulfillment of the law, man. And you know what? We should be happy that the Most High God gave us that type of culture. Because when we look at each other, we should see royalty.
Right.
We should see something that's precious. We should never want our brothers to have to die unless it's a natural death, man. Right? And we be thankful that the Most High allowed them to live a full life. You know what I mean? We can accept that type of stuff. But like I said, for that woman to lose all 4 of her children, man, to gun violence,
That's crazy.
I pray the Most High comfort that woman, man. Read.
The book of John, chapter 15, and verse 13.
Uh-huh.
Greater love
Uh-huh.
have no man than this,
Uh-huh.
that a man lay down his life for his friends.
And that's what Judah is doing right now. Judah is laying down his life for his brethren. Because he's showing that love. But that's a total contrast to what he did pertaining to Joseph, man. A total, but it just goes to show you that our people can change, man.
Right.
If you had a certain type of mindset in the world, it's time for you to change that mindset. You don't have to continue to stay stuck in that way. Don't be a slave to sin, man. Be strong and courageous and fight that sin. Ask the Most High to help you overcome that sin, to change your ways, to change your thoughts. Because that's where it really starts, man, in your mind. You need to rebuke your thought before it then turns into an action. Because it's kind of hard to rebuke that action, man. You're probably already in the midst of doing it. Now you're teetering on the fence. I'm already doing it, so should I keep going or should I stop right here? Is it even going to count if I stop? Because I'm already kind of doing it. Might as well do it this last time, and then I'll stop from here on out. Rebuke it in your thoughts first, man. Go back to the portion. Oh, bring that up.
Okay. It's a lot.
What you got?
Proverbs 24.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 24, and verse 9. The thought of foolishness is sin.
It says even the very thought that you have is sin. Read.
And the scorner is an abomination to men.
And the scorner is an abomination to men. So we have to change our mind. We have to change our ways as a nation of people, so we can come as one, as a unit.
Con.
Right.
Let's get back to the portion.
The book of Genesis, chapter 44, and verse 34.
Right?
For how shall I go up to my father, and the lad be not with me? Let's peradventure, or perhaps, I see the evil that shall come on my father.
Right? So like I said, Judah is really pleading with Joseph to let Benjamin go back with his brethren, and not stay with them. Right? But nonetheless, man, we have to look at the very account to see that is how we should always be about each other, man. That's how far and how willing we should want to go to ensure the wellness of our neighbor, man. I commend Judah for that, man. Because he told his father, you know what? I'm going to make sure he get back safe. And he was willing to make himself a bondman to fulfill that promise, man.
Yeah.
We can't be making empty promises to each other each and every time. And then now it's a situation that comes up that we like, you know what? That promise I made is not worth what I'm about to sacrifice. And then we renege. Man, we got to go through it. We got to go through it. We go to chapter 45.
The book of Genesis, chapter 45, and verse 1. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him. And he cried, because every man caused every man to go out from me, and there stood no man with him. While Joseph made himself known unto his brethren.
Read.
And he wept aloud. And the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Doeth my father yet live? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence.
Right? So at this time, man, the other brothers are shocked.
Yeah.
Like, what he just said? Like, they probably asked him, hey, you heard what he said? He said Joseph?
Yeah.
Right? He can't be, right? They thinking they seeing ghosts. They probably thinking, man, we must be dreaming. This can't be real. Because this is a man of high status.
Right.
How you got, they probably thinking that all type of equations going through their head. How did you get to this status, man? But Joseph gonna give them the breakdown. Read.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, come near to me, I pray you.
Right.
And they came near. And he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt.
You ever try to forget about something that you did? Right? You never try to forget about that thing, like, I'm gonna just bury it in my mind, right? Joseph let him know, yo, I'm Joseph, the one you sold into Egypt. You can't deny that, because they like, damn, well, nobody else was there, right? So this got to be Joseph.
It's like when you have Caribbean parents and you did something a minute ago,
right?
They'll bring it right back.
They'll bring it back up, so never let you forget.
They bring it right back.
You could be 30 and you did it when you was 15, right? They always gonna keep that in the bank, because as soon as you try to rebuke them on something, they're gonna talk about your whole childhood when you was going off, right? And then you're never gonna win, so you might as well give up, right? But Joseph is letting them know, yes, I'm Joseph, the one y'all sold into slavery. This is a fact, right? That only I would know, right? Read
verse 5.
Now
therefore be not greedy, nor angry with yourselves that ye sold me hither. For God did send me before you to preserve life.
Read.
For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land. And yet there are 5 years, in the which there shall neither be earing nor harvest.
So Joseph is letting them know it's been already 2 years of famine, right? But it's about to be 5 more years upon that. Read.
Verse 7. And Yahawah sent me before you to preserve you in prosperity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance.
So when you look at that word prosperity, it means remnant, right? So the Most High God used what the brothers did unto Joseph to put him in the land of Egypt. So during this time of famine, there would be a portion that can be given unto the children of Israel through Joseph's status in Egypt. And that's the same thing that the Most High did today. In order to feed the children of Israel, in order to continue to nourish the children of Israel, the Most High saved a remnant of his people, man, who would always be with him, man, who would always have that spirit upon them to go and teach the people, so that we could continue to grow in numbers. Because if everybody in Israel would have went off, then who was gonna reestablish that order? You know what I'm saying? Who was the Most High gonna use to rebuild the nation, man? Right? So in the same way that the Most High set these brothers forth, right, before we was born in the 60s, the 70s, or like Captain Ahhad bring out in the 50s, it was all because this was supposed to come to pass today. That we'd have Shabbat services, that we'd have schools all throughout the earth. But without that little remnant, man, none of this would have been possible. All right, read
verse 8. So now,
Isaiah chapter 10, verse 20 to 22.
Come. Get that. Isaiah 10, 20.
10 to 20.
22.
Chapter 10, verse 20.
Yeah, come.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 10 and verse 20.
Read.
And it shall come to pass in that day,
right,
that the remnant of Israel,
the what of Israel?
The remnant of Israel,
read,
and such are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Most High, the Holy One of Israel, in truth.
Right? So there's going to be a remnant of Israel that's going to be saved, man. We're not going to have to be under the hand of our enemies anymore, right? Now we're going to be rocking with the Most High God in full effect. That's a beautiful thing to look forward to know that your enemies are going to lose the fight in the end. That's a good thing to know, right? That's like fighting a 2-year-old child, right? You know you're going to win, man, right? You know you're going to, I don't know, unless this baby got some moves, right? But you know you're going to win, man, right? You know at the end of the day, no matter, or it could be the strongest, buffest man. He got all the muscles in the world, but you know, all I got to do is hit him in the temple and he's down, right? I can take him out with one shot, no matter how big and bad they might look. The Most High is going to destroy our enemies for us. Because once we come back unto him, we regain our strength, man, right? And that's what we're doing. We're becoming stronger through the Most High God. And we're now seeing that when we have that hope and that faith in what the Most High God is doing for us, man, we have no fear. But we used to fear our oppressors because we believe they had control over our life. But now we know the Most High God has that control. So now we fear him and we're not worried about them. Because we thought that they defeated God somehow. We always ask, why God keep letting all these things go on? Right? Is there even a God? We start to doubt the Most High God. We thinking that man have more control over life than God. But God said, I ain't gonna let that keep going on. Right? Let me turn the dial up real quick, man. Bring my people back. Show them that they suffered these things because of their captivity, not because I wasn't there for them, but I had to teach them that lesson, man. Right. Keep reading.
The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob unto the mighty power.
Read.
For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return.
Read.
The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness.
That's how it's supposed to go, man. Only a small remnant of our people are truly going to repent and come back unto the Most High God. Because, you know, it takes a lot to repent, to really stop doing the thing that you're doing, man. Right? It's easy to go probably a week or two, probably even a month without doing it. But to truly repent and never do it again, that takes time, man. So our people think that they just gonna come out to Wynwood, or they gonna come out to the highways and byways, get a little 2 minutes of instruction, and they're gonna be good. That's why we invite them to come to the Shabbat, because this is the time when you can really get the in-depth instruction on how to live your life as an Israelite man, woman, or child.
Right.
So that you don't do the things that are contrary unto the Most High God and have to be partakers of his plagues, man. All right. The Most High God, man wanted to lie with mankind. I'm gonna send HIV in the earth, man. Right? Our people wanted to eat all these unclean foods. I'm gonna give you all the diseases not written in the book, man.
Right.
And no matter how many herbs and how many things you try to take, I'm gonna let it stay there. You know what? Because that sin deceives our people into thinking that we can continue to go contrary to God and nothing is gonna happen. Because our people think that diabetes run in the family because it's genetic. No, it's not genetic. It's because of the habits, right? The diabetes is gonna stop when y'all stop eating unclean food.
Right.
And when y'all have some type of discipline over the food that you do eat, even if they are clean, right? Because a lot of us eat these sweets and stuff like that, and we don't really know what all of it is made out of. All those words on the back of the package, we can't pronounce half of them, right? How do we know that it's not derived from some unclean animal?
Right.
The only thing that we can know is, the pig is the pig, right? The ox is the ox, right? The turtle is the turtle. The chicken is the chicken. That's easy, huh? Yeah, they got little codes, and they still genetically modify these animals too, man. Right. You know, that's why I was speaking earlier. When we get back into the kingdom, there may be fruits that we never tasted before, because Esau done burnt down wherever they was, right? There may be herbs that we haven't seen today, man. That's going to be in the kingdom. The food is going to taste way more better. We're going to still understand how to deal with the animals and be able to, have that meat readily available. But guess what? The way that animal is killed, the way that it's grown, right? Those are going to be done in order, man. We're not going to be shooting up chickens, and then in 3 weeks, it went from a little chicken, right, to walking around like the chicken from Family Guy, right? Right? Being able to fight if they wanted to, man. Right? Oh, man. That's what Esau do, because he wants to make his money. Yeah. And they don't care. Because if somebody was to go to Esau right now and say, you know what, I know how to make a chicken bigger in 1 week, you think he's going to say, no, man, we're not going to do that. He's going to say, I'll see you tomorrow. All right? I'll see you tomorrow. Right. And then now Popeyes is going to have something on the new menu, right? Because now they're able to do that, right? Right. That's how it goes in this kingdom, man. Yeah. They continue to seek how to make it more sinful so that the children of Israel continue to stay oppressed. Mm-hmm. But guess what? A remnant of our people, we're not going to be fooled, man. That 144,000, that more likely looks like that's going to be, generations down from now, because they're never going to be defiled with these vain philosophies like we were growing up, man. They're never going to believe that Christmas was Yahawah's birthday without no proof. They're going to be 3 years old and already saying 1 Thessalonians 5:21. They're going to want to show me, right? When the teacher says something crazy at school, they might get detention, because they're going to ask the teacher to show me, right? Show me proof. Where's that in the Bible? My Abba said, show me in the Bible, right? They're going to be right in detention, but that's fine, right? That's fine, because we cannot allow our children to be subjugated, man, to the deceitfulness of sin. All right, let's jump back to the portion.
The book of Genesis, chapter 45 and verse 8.
Uh-huh.
So now it was not you that sent me hither, but Yahawah.
But who?
But Yahawah.
Now that's one thing that we gotta we gotta, I guess, kind of accept that the Most High allowed Joseph to be sold into slavery, right? Everything that happened, even though, yes, Judah came up with the plan and all of his brothers was on board with it, this was all the Most High's orchestration. Give me Sirach 11 and 14. Sirach 11 and 14. That's one thing that we really got to understand, because when things go wrong in your life, sometimes we try to cope with it We try to find something to make us feel good about what we're going through. Just accept that it's the Most High, right?
Mhm.
Just accept that the Most High allowed this thing to happen, and just take it cheerfully. It's still gonna hurt, but that's probably one of the best ways mentally that you're gonna be able to deal with it. Just say, you know what, it's of the Most High, because I know, guess what? The same way how He put me through this, He gonna give me something on the good side. Read.
The book of Sirach, chapter 11, verse 14.
Read.
Prosperity and adversity,
Prosperity and adversity, right?
life and death, poverty and riches come of the Most High.
Right? So whether it's prosperity or adversity, life or death, poverty or riches, it all comes from the Most High God. So on one hand, right, that adversity that Joseph went through was what? Being sold into slavery. But then where did the prosperity come in? When he was made, you know, the chief over the officer of Pharaoh, man. Right? Running things.
Right.
Joseph running things.
Right. Even in prison.
Right? Even in prison. Joseph was the man. Right? When Potiphar's wife, right, tried to get with Joseph. She said, "Man, this is the real Don daughter." Right? I need this guy. Right? That's how much he was running things, man.
Yeah.
She like, I need this guy. Even though Potiphar was a man of good status, right? Why she want Joseph? It's one thing about the children of Israel, man. We got that swagger, right?
Right.
Even though her husband is already on the same status, she still want the Israelite man, right?
Right.
She's like, this guy is different, right? Swagger. It's something about him, right? Read. Oh, go back. Let's go back to the portion.
The book of Genesis. Oh, yeah. 45.
Yeah, 45 and 9.
45, verse 9. Haste ye,
Right.
and go up to my father,
Right.
and say unto him, Thus saith thy son Joseph,
Read.
the Most High have made me Lord of all Egypt.
Made him what?
Lord of all Egypt.
Read.
Come down unto me, tarry not.
Now, who could imagine when Jacob was gonna hear that sentence? You think your son is dead, right? And now, right? So your sons came to you and told you that Joseph got tore up by a beast. But now they about to go to him and say, Abba, Joseph is Lord over all Egypt over there. And he goes, what? Y'all told me, right? He probably already got the belt in his hand. He about to go off, man. He don't care, right? He don't care how old they is. Everybody about to get lashes. Y'all telling me, right, that Joseph is Lord over Egypt. You know how our people get. You playing with me right now?
Yeah, exactly.
You playing with me right now? Because y'all told me that my son was dead. So which one is it, right? They probably had to give the whole breakdown. Yeah, Abu, you know we, right? He probably put them in the chokehold. Like Lacombe say, choke them out for 1 hour, man, right? He probably choked. It took him half a day to choke out all his sons, man.
Oh my God.
He wasn't playing, right? Keep reading. Go to verse 10.
Verse 10.
Uh-huh.
And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen,
Right?
and thou shalt be near unto me,
Uh-huh.
thou and thy children,
Right.
and thy children's children,
Mm-hmm.
and thy flocks, and thy herds,
Uh-huh.
and all that thou hast.
Right. So Joseph said, man, go get everything. Go get everybody. Read.
Yeah. And there will I nourish thee.
He gonna do what?
Nourish thee.
Uh-huh.
For yet there are 5 years of famine.
Uh-huh.
Lest thou and thy household and all that thou hast come to poverty.
All right. So we're gonna harp on this. We're gonna harp on this scripture, this verse right here, right? Read that from the top one more time.
Verse 11.
Uh-huh.
And there will I nourish thee.
He said he's gonna nourish thee because of the famine. You're gonna need nourishment, right? You're gonna need some type of food to be fed because during a famine, there's no food. So Joseph, being in the status that he has in Egypt, he's gonna be able to nourish all the house of Jacob. Now, our people, they don't understand that when we try to go out there in the highways and byways and teach them, when we ask them to come to Sabbath class, we're trying to nourish them because there's going to be a famine of what in the last days? A famine of the word, right? It's going to be a famine of the word. Let's get that Amos 8 and 11, right?
Amos chapter 8 and verse 11.
Read.
Behold,
Uh-huh.
the days come, said the Most High Power,
Right?
that I will send a famine.
You send a what?
A famine
Uh-huh.
in the land.
Read.
Not a famine of bread.
Not a famine of bread. You still going to be able to eat, still going to be able to go to Walmart, right? Get your Chick-fil-A, get your Popeyes. Read.
Nor a thirst for water.
Right?
But of hearing the words of the Most High.
But of hearing the words of the Most High. Now, we might tell our people that, and they think, you know what? That Okay, so what?
Yeah.
Right? Y'all already know the information. I'll just come to y'all and check with y'all, right?
Mhm.
All the Bibles could disappear. We'll just come and chop it up with y'all.
Yeah.
But they don't understand, really, they're going to be malnourished at this point.
Mhm.
Because when that famine's hit, the Most High God is not going to allow to have the word just going free course, right? He's going to send that famine. Let me get Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 26. The word is what nourishes the children of Israel, man. Because when we didn't have this word, we still were strong. We're still in the gym, right? Playing all of these sports, being top tier athletes. So obviously we were still eating, but we weren't getting nourished by the Most High God's word. That's why outside of sports, outside of the rap game, we was being thugs, murdering our own people, being thieves, being adulterers and adulteresses, because we were not being nourished. And when we're malnourished with the word, that's what the hood looks like. That's why Joseph said, you're going to come into poverty, man.
Mhm.
Read
16:6.
16 and 26.
Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16 and verse 26.
Read.
That thy children,
Uh-huh.
O Lord,
Uh-huh.
whom thou lovest,
Who that what?
whom thou lovest,
Read.
might know
Uh-huh.
that it is not the growing of fruits that nourish man,
Uh-huh.
but that it is thy word,
But is that what?
thy word,
Uh-huh.
which preserveth them
Uh-huh.
that put their trust in thee.
So the scriptures say that we need to know that it's the word that nourishes us, right? And preserves us. Because just like a plant, if you don't nourish it, right,
Yeah.
with the right nutrients, eventually it's going to die.
Mhm.
It just doesn't need sunlight, right? It needs the proper nutrients in that soil in order to uptake it and grow,
Right.
right? It needs necessary things, man. The scriptures is necessary to the growth and the preservation of the nation of Israel. Without that, man, we will falter.
Right.
All right. Get Sirach 17:18. Sirach 17:18.
Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 18.
Read.
Whom, being his firstborn,
Uh-huh.
he nourisheth with discipline.
He nourishes with what?
Discipline.
He nourishes with discipline. Read.
And giving him
Uh-huh.
the light of his love,
Right.
doeth not forsake him.
So the Most High nourished us with discipline. That's the same way we deal with our children now. That's the same way we deal with our children now, right?
Right.
It's to nourish them with discipline. Train them up in a way to let them know, listen, you can't just go off and do your own thing. All right. There's rules, laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God that you have to abide by.
Right.
We don't teach them, you know what? You can go up and be whatever you want to be. Well, no, you can't. Not according to the Most High God, right? You can't just grow up and be a flaming homosexual if you want to. You can't grow up and be a murderer, right? You can't grow up and own a pork shop. Those things are not to be done, man.
Right.
You can't be whatever you want to be.
Right.
You have to be thus saith the Most High God. And your occupation, your speech, the way you dress, everything has to be in accordance with what he say is lawful and that is good in the sight of him, man.
Right.
All right. Now, during this famine, let's see how it's going to be for the wicked or the people who disregarded the word, and for the ones who've been diligently seeking the Most High God. Give me Psalms 37 and 18. Psalm 37 and 18.
Psalms 37 and verse 18.
Read.
The Most High knoweth the days of the upright,
Uh-huh.
and their inheritance shall be forever.
Their heritage shall what?
Shall be forever.
Uh-huh.
They shall not be ashamed in the evil time.
Uh-huh.
And in the days of famine,
In the days of what?
famine,
Read.
they shall be satisfied.
They shall be what?
Satisfied.
Uh-huh.
But the wicked shall perish.
What the wicked gonna do?
Shall perish.
The wicked is gonna perish, man. So in that day when that famine hit, the righteous, they're gonna be good, right? Because they've been hearkening unto the Most High God. We know what we need to do, right? We've got the Shabbat day down pat. We know what not to do and what to do. We know how to deal with our wives and with our children. Deal with, women dealing with their husbands. We know how to deal with our diet. We know how to deal with the feast days. All right. We know all the various, laws, statutes, and commandments that the Most High gave us. But the wicked, they're not going to know these things.
Nah.
So now, when the world is in turmoil, they're not going to have any type of stability. All right. Give me Isaiah 33:6. They're not going to have any stability to turn on. If I wake up tomorrow and I see that a pothole opened up and the Empire State Building crashed all the way to the center of the earth, I'm going to say hallelujah. Right? I'm not even going to worry.
Right.
I'm going to go to work. I'm going to get off. Right? And they say, oh, you see what happened to the Empire? I'm be like, yeah, that's crazy. Right? I'm be like, nah. You know, it is what it is. Right? Right? Exactly. Right? We going to throw a celebration. And we going to be on the news. Terrorists. We found a terrorist group. It must have been them. Right? They celebrating for the downfall of this kingdom. Right? They're going to try to make us bad. But we're not worried about that. Because we're going to say, you know what? Oh, looks like it's starting, man. That's what we're not worried about, man. We're not worried about the destruction that's going to come. Because when this famine hits, we're going to be sitting back saying, you know what? It's only getting closer time to our salvation. All right? Read that.
The book of Isaiah 33 and verse 6.
Read.
And wisdom and knowledge
Uh-huh.
shall be the stability of thy time.
We're going to be stable in those times, man. When the famine of the word hit, we're going to be stable, right? We're going to be stable, man. Because you know what? We already know who we are. We accepted our responsibility and our requirement from the Most High God as an Israelite, as his chosen people, right? So the same way how Joseph was able to give them provision, right, during a famine, is the same way that you're building up your storehouse right now. Because you're going to know those precepts. You're going to know the ways of the Most High God when the famine hit, right? You're not going to necessarily have to be sat down and taught the word because you're already going to have it within yourself, man, because you've been learning it for all these years. Our people don't realize they on borrowed time, man. They on borrowed time. Esau is sitting down right now trying to figure out a way how to fight against Yahawah and the angels, man.
Right.
and how to devour some of our people, right? So we got to be very circumspect, man, about the times at hand. Let's go back to the portion.
The book of Genesis, chapter 45 and verse 11.
Uh-huh.
And there will I nourish thee,
Right.
for yet there are 5 years of famine,
Uh-huh.
lest thou and thy household,
Right.
and all that thou hast, the poverty.
Read.
And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that it is my mouth that speaketh unto you.
Right.
And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that ye have seen. And ye shall haste and bring down my father hither.
Read.
And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept.
Mm-hmm.
And Benjamin wept upon his neck.
Right.
Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them. And after that, his brethren talked with him.
Right. So it was a very emotional time.
Yeah.
Especially for Benjamin. Because all Benjamin knew was that his brother was dead. The other brothers knew the true story, but Benjamin didn't, right? So Benjamin growing up, you know, thinking, yo, my brother Joseph got torn by wild beasts, right? That's all he knows.
Right.
But now he's seeing his brother, man. You could just imagine how emotional it was, man, to see our people. And you know what? That's kind of like the same thing in a sense when we see our people come to this truth, right? Because they're walking dead right now. Right? But then one day we get to see them alive and living, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. People who you thought would never change. Some people you probably went to high school with, grew up in the community with, and thought that they would never change. Yeah. And then one day you see them keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, man. Right? You just feel so happy, bro. You feel so happy to know that your brother is now living again, man. Keep reading. Verse 16.
Verse 16.
Read.
And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house,
right?
Saying, Joseph's brethren are come, and it pleased Pharaoh well and his servants.
Right.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Say unto thy brethren, this do ye, lad your beasts, and go, get you unto the land of Canaan, and take your father and your households, and come unto me, and I will give you the good of the land of Egypt, and ye shall eat the fat of the land.
Read.
Now thou art commanded, this do ye. Take you wagons out of the land of Egypt for your little ones and for your wives, and bring your father and come.
Right.
Also regard not your stuff, for the good of all the land of Egypt is yours.
Right. So now look. I know that they're hearing these things that Joseph is saying, and like, yo, this man really have pull. He's telling them, don't even worry about bringing everything. Right. I got you when you come over here.
Right.
Right. Joseph has really been made Lord over this, man. So you could just imagine, just think about the mindset that they're thinking, man. That we sold this man into slavery.
Right.
And the Most High God brought him to this. It's more encouraging to them. Read. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. But he's running everything, and they trust in Joseph, right? And you can see. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, you good.
Yeah, what was worse was that it was one thing hearing it from Joseph.
Right.
Now they're hearing this directly from Pharaoh himself.
Right.
Yeah. Telling them, look, boy, don't even bring anything, but go get wagons from Egypt.
Right.
And we'll get you over here.
Exactly. Right.
Pharaoh himself.
Exactly. And that attests to Joseph's character, because they don't know us from a can of paint, right? They don't know the other brothers like that. But Pharaoh, in his mind, is thinking, well, if the brothers are anything like Joseph, then guess what? I can put one over the music department, right? I'm gonna put him over the grocery department. I'm gonna put all Joseph brothers over everything,
Right.
because guess what? Joseph, he does a good job. And I'm about to get 11 more of them. Oh, don't worry, right? I got some plans for them. I would be pleased too. Yeah, Joseph, get all your brothers and tell them, come on, right? They do work just like you. Bring them on. Right, exactly, right? $17 for the goat. All right. That's what Pharaoh is very pleased by. All right, read.
Verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
And the children of Israel did so.
Right.
And Joseph gave them wagons
Mm-hmm.
according to the commandment of Pharaoh,
Right.
and gave them provision for the way.
Uh-huh.
To all of them he gave each man changes of raiment,
Right.
but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver
Uh-huh.
and 5 changes of raiment.
How many changes of raiment?
5 changes of
Right.
raiment.
So Benjamin had the drip.
Right.
He had 300 pieces of silver in his pocket, and he had 5 outfits. Right? Benjamin's stunting right now. Read.
And to his father
Uh-huh.
he sent after this manner:
Right.
10 donkeys laden with the good things of Egypt,
Uh-huh.
and 10 she donkeys laden with corn and bread and meat for his father by the way.
Right.
So he sent his brethren away,
Uh-huh.
and they departed.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, see that ye fall not out by the way.
Read.
And they went up out of Egypt
Uh-huh.
and came into the land of Canaan unto Jacob their father,
Right.
and told him,
Mhm.
saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Egypt.
Uh-huh.
And Jacob's heart fainted,
Uh-huh.
for he believed them not.
Exactly, right? As we said earlier, Jacob's probably looking at him like, y'all boys go, man, get away from me. Man.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know what type of plants they gave y'all over in Egypt, but y'all must be hallucinating at this point, right? What they gave y'all over there, right? Because he can't believe it.
Right.
He can't believe it, man. Read.
Verse 27.
Uh-huh.
And they told him all the words of Joseph,
Right.
which he had said unto them.
Mm-hmm.
And when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to carry him,
Mm-hmm.
the spirit of Jacob their father revived.
Right.
And Israel said, it is enough. Joseph my son is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die.
All right. Go next chapter.
Verse 40, chapter 46.
Uh-huh.
And Israel took his journey with all that he had,
Right.
and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices unto the Most High, unto the power of his father Isaac.
Uh-huh.
And Yahawah spake unto Israel in the visions of the night,
Mm-hmm.
and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, here am I.
Uh-huh.
And he said, I am Yahawah, the power of thy father.
Mm-hmm.
Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation.
Uh-huh.
I will go down with thee into Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
and I will also surely bring thee up again.
Uh-huh.
And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes.
Right.
And Jacob rose up from Beersheba.
Mm-hmm.
And the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father,
Mhm.
and their little ones, and their wives, in the wagons which Pharaoh had
Mhm.
sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods, which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him.
Right. So Jacob knew that it was promised unto him that his children would inherit the land of Canaan. Right. So the Most High God is reassuring him, say, don't, because he's probably thinking, well, if I leave the land of Canaan and go with everything over to Egypt, how am I supposed to inherit this land? But the Most High God is reassuring him, say, don't worry. You're going to go into Egypt. I'm going to make you a great nation, and then I'm going to bring you back into the land. Right. And you're gonna take it for that possession. So the Most High God, even though he says, you know, we're going to be redeemed in these last days, right? He's going to carry us from the four corners of the earth. In our life, we may end up in different places, man, right? We may move from here and go over to Africa or go over to this or go over to that. But nonetheless, it's still going to come to pass for the redemption of Israel, man. All right. So don't think that, oh, I'm going off by, you know, trying to move into another part in the land, trying to escape a captivity. If you feel like over there is a little bit better, a little bit easier to live, by all means, you know, if you be the Most High will, you can go ahead and make that move, right? But we still have to wait for that redemption through the Mashiach Yahawashi.
Ezekiel 28:25.
Give me Ezekiel 28:25.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, verse 25. Thus saith the Most High Power, when I shall have gathered the house of Israel from the people among whom they are scattered,
Right.
and shall be sanctified in them in the sight of the heathen, then shall they dwell in their land that I have given to my servant Jacob.
Read.
And they shall dwell safely therein.
They shall do a what?
Safely therein.
I always love to highlight the word safely. Because that's the reason we have so much stress. We don't dwell safely in this land. It's not our land. It's not our land, man. Imagine being in the land of Israel, and we look around, and everything belongs to us. Nothing belongs to the other nation.
Right.
They can't come and seize nobody's house.
Right.
Right? They can't come and seize nobody's house. The park closed when we said close.
Right.
Right? If we want to have the speakers out there booming till 4 o'clock in the morning, guess what? We gonna do that. Because what can they do? Right? Y'all don't own this park no more.
Right.
It's ours, right? Right? That's what we need to look forward to, man. The Most High God is gonna put us back in our land. Right now, we dealing in Egypt. They trying to make us more sore. They trying to give us more tasks. But now we know who we are, and guess what? It's fine, right? You trying to throw a couple more extra hours on my shift? That's fine. Because guess what? The Most High is going to give me you in the kingdom. Right? And the only break you're getting is Shabbat.
Right.
That's the only break you're getting is Shabbat. Right? I don't care if you sleep. You better find out how to work when you sleep. Right? I'm going to make it tough. You better find out that y'all always want to do all these sciences on the brain, right? You better figure it out. Right? Figure out how to work while you sleeping, man.
Right.
Because these heathens got to get recompense for what they did to our forefathers, man. When I rewatched the movie Django the other day, I was mad the whole movie.
You talking about you? I just watched it.
I was mad the whole movie, man.
That's a trip, man.
Because the way they spoke to us, bro, was like we was dogs. They love to see us beg and cry. They would tie our wives up to a tree and whip them just to see the man cry and be well for his wife, man. And they were so happy. It was one scene when Leonardo DiCaprio he unbuckled Kerry Washington her garment and was showing her back. He was like, "Look at this, man! It looked like a masterpiece." That's how they looked at it, man, as a masterpiece being drawn on our backs. No remorse. They considered us beasts of the field, man.
Right.
And you think that they're gonna get away? You think that we're gonna have that remorse on them when it's our turn? We're gonna put y'all to work. Y'all gonna see how it feel to have y'all fingers bleed picking cotton, man. Right? I want to see how smart it is then. And y'all not getting no SPF 50. Right? If you drop out in the sun, then you grass. That's just what it is, man. Right? Y'all ain't getting no sunblock, man. No sunblock. Y'all gonna have to do it with the same way how y'all made taskmasters over our forefathers, man, and grieve them. The same way y'all gonna have to gave that punishment. Let's go back to the portion. 45 and verse 46 and verse 6.
Okay. The book of Genesis, chapter
verse 7.
46 and verse 7.
Read.
His sons and his sons' sons with him,
right?
His daughters and his sons' daughters,
right?
And all his seed brought he with him into Egypt.
Read.
And there are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt. Jacob and his sons,
Right.
Reuben, Jacob's firstborn. And the sons of Reuben, Hanak and Phalu and Hezron and Carmi. And the sons of Simeon, Jemuel and Jamin, Ohad, Jashin, Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanitish woman.
Right.
And the sons of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. And the sons of Judah, and Onan, and Shelah, and Pharez, and Zerah. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan, and the sons of Pharez were Hezron and Hamul. And the sons of Issachar, Tola, and Phubah, and Job, and Shimron. And the sons of Zebulon, Shared, and Elon, and Jahil. These be the sons of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob and Padan Aram with his daughter Dinah. All the souls of his sons and his daughters were 33. And the sons of Gad, Siphon, and Haggai, Shuni, Esbon, Eri, and Arodi, and Areli. And the sons of Asher, Jimnah, and Ishhua, and Ishu, and Bera, and Sarah, their sister. And the sons of Barah, Heber, and Michael. These are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter, and these she bare unto Jacob, even 16 souls. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph, and Benjamin. And unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, which Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, bare unto him. And the sons of Benjamin were Bala, and Berchur, and Ashbel, Girah, Naaman, Ehi, and Rosh, Mapim, and Hapim, and Ard. These are the sons of Rachel, which were born to Jacob. All the souls were 14. And the sons of Dan, Hashem. And the sons of Naphtali, Jazeel, and Guni, and Jazir, and Shalem. These are the sons of Bilhah, which Laban gave unto Rachel his daughter, and she bare these unto Jacob. All the souls were 7. All the souls that came with Jacob into Egypt, which came out of his loins, besides Jacob's sons' wives, all the souls were 66. And the sons of Joseph, which were born him in Egypt, were 2 souls. All the souls of the house of Jacob, which came into Egypt, were 70. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph, to direct his face unto Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen.
Right. So we're going into Egypt, what? 70 deep. All right. And we're going to dwell in this land called Goshen, which is in Egypt. So we're bringing everything, you know, all our wives, all our cattle, our sons, everybody came over into Egypt because there was a famine where we were. Joseph had the provisions. He sent back his brethren to go fetch his father and all of his house and to come over. And just one thing to touch on, right? Because, you know, you have some brothers, right, who abide by that Mamzer doctrine, essentially saying that, you know, if you don't have 2 Israelite parents, that you're not an Israelite. Well, let's go back, right? So let's go back to 46 and verse, where is that? Verse 10.
Genesis 46 and verse 10.
Read.
And the sons of Simeon, Jemuel, Jamin, and Ohad, and Jashin, and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanitish woman.
The son of what?
A Canaanitish woman.
The son of a Canaanitish woman. So that would mean that this Shaul, right? This child right here is not an Israelite, according to the Mamzer doctrine, right? So anybody who comes out of his loins, that's you know, that's a heathen, right? That don't make no sense. But this one makes a harder argument. Drop down to verse 20.
Verse 20. And unto Joseph and the land of Egypt
Right.
were born Manasseh and Ephraim, which Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, bare unto him.
So, with the sense of the Mamzer doctrine, there's no way that there could be a tribe of Ephraim and Manasseh because they're already Mamzers.
Right.
Right? They're already Mamzers. Mamzers, right? Some brothers hold on, right, that a Mamzer basically is an Israelite that's born that has a Israelite father, but a heathenistic woman. I mean, a heathen mother, right? And that essentially does not make the child an Israelite. But if that's the case, Joseph had two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, and they both come from a heathen woman. So that would make them a Mamzer and not an Israelite. So how do we have those two tribes in the nation of Israel?
Right.
That don't make no sense, right? So just with that one verse, that's a cut. Because then you would have to explain how Ephraim and Manasseh became tribes if they're not even Israelites at this very point. All right. So I just wanted to touch on that before we went on, man. Because that's the most stupidest thing that I've ever heard.
Right.
Let's go to verse 28.
The book of Genesis, chapter 46, and verse 28.
Read.
And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph to direct his face unto Goshen.
Read.
And they came into the land of Goshen.
And
Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to meet Israel his father to Goshen.
Right.
And presented himself unto him. And he fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while.
Right.
And Israel said unto Joseph, now let me die, since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive.
Man, so Jacob right now is filled with all type of joy, man. He's like, at this moment, the Most High call me, call my soul. I'm good, right? I got to see my son, man, who I thought was dead.
Right.
He over here, he doing good, right? That's just like that one family member who make it, right? Made it to the NBA, made it to the NFL, right? He's just like, man, we good, we chilling now. Right, but more so, he's happy to see his son, man.
Right,
who he thought, met his fate at the hand of a wild beast, man. So this type of moment right here for Jacob, man, is really emotional, right? But that's the grace of the Most High God, man. Those are the things that we can look forward to in this life, also, man. When you think that somebody might be gone, not in the sense that they may be dead, but somebody may be so far gone, fathers, if you in this truth and you trying to get your children to come around, right? If you're trying to get your parents to come around, and then one day that happens, that's going to be a joyful occasion, man, right? To see them in that state of godliness and of righteousness and of holiness, man. All right, keep reading.
Verse 31. And Joseph said unto his brethren,
right,
and unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh, right, and say unto him, my brethren and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, right, are come unto me. And the men are shepherds, for their trade have been to feed cattle. Right. And they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you and shall say, what is your occupation? Right. That ye shall say, thy servant's trade have been about cattle from our youth even until now. Both we and also our fathers. That ye may dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians. Right, it said for every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians. So they probably seen that, man. That's slave work, right? Being a shepherd, feeding cattle, doing all these things, right? But guess what? That's what we were, man. Right? That's the labor that the Most High set forth for the children of Israel in this time, man. Right? That we be shepherds, that we take care of that cattle, right? That we know how to deal with the land, we know how to deal with the earth, right? Because what was the first job given to man? Husbandry, right? To dress the field and just the earth, till the ground and keep it, man. Right? So they looking down upon it because what? They the mighty power. It's no different. It's no different, right? When somebody asks you, oh, where you work? Oh, I work over here at this company, work over here at that company, right? They look down on you, right? Like is this an abomination? Well, I'm sorry that my father wasn't a slave master, right? And didn't leave all these things for me, right? I'm sorry that my people came over here on boats, right? Never given a fair chance, and I'm just trying to make it. What did you expect me to be, right? What did you expect me to be with the chances and the opportunities that you give me here in this life, right?
But nonetheless, the Most High God, that's why when we read Deuteronomy 7 and 6, the Most High said that we're holy, right, and chosen unto him. Nobody else is going to treat us as such, and we need to accept that at this point. No other nation on this earth is going to accept you, right, as somebody who's chosen, superior, special, holy. They're not going to treat you like that. The only person who's going to treat you like that is the Most High God. So when we try to find all these ways to bring the nations in, and we so concerned about them, what you concerned about them for? Be concerned about the Most High God, right? Because like we're going to see later, right, going into Exodus, when Pharaoh's son took rulership, what happened? Ain't nobody know nothing about no Joseph. And y'all Israelites better get to work, right? I don't care who y'all talking about right now. Get to work. How long did that last? Right? For a couple of years. We had some good status in Egypt. And then the next Pharaoh came and said, I don't know what y'all thought, but it's a new sheriff in town.
Right.
Get to work.
Right.
Right? So as soon as you think your relationship, right, with Bob at your job is going to last, when his son turned 20, he's going to ask, why are these people not in chains? Right? He's going to say, make America great again. And now you're thinking, man, why are you saying that, son? I work with your father. He said, I don't care who you worked with. Right? My father was stupid for trying to be your friend. Now you over there sick to your stomach. Because you tried to be friends with your enemies. It can't be so, man. The Most High ordained that relationship between us and the other nations to be that of enemies, man. Not friends.
Right.
All right, keep reading.
Chapter 47.
Uh-huh.
Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and
Right.
said, my father and my brethren and their flocks and their herds
Right.
and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan.
Uh-huh.
And behold, they are in the land of Goshen.
Read.
And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh.
Right.
And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, what is your occupation?
Uh-huh.
And they said unto Pharaoh, thy servants are shepherds, both we, and also our fathers.
Right.
They said moreover unto Pharaoh, for to sojourn in the land are we come. For thy servants have no pastor for their flocks.
Uh-huh.
For the famine is sore in the land of Canaan.
Right.
Now therefore we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen.
Mm-hmm.
And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying, thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee.
Uh-huh.
The land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land make thy father and thy brethren to dwell.
Mm-hmm.
In the land of Goshen let them dwell.
Uh-huh.
And if thou knowest any men of activity among them, then make